please welcome the Women's Bond Club co-presidents, Suzanne O'Connell and Marinella Tudoran.
Well, good evening. Welcome to our 2017 Women's Bond Club Annual Merit Award Dinner. I'm Suzanne O'Connell, co-president of the Women's Bond Club and managing director at IBM.
Good evening. I'm the other co-president of the Women's Bond Club. I'm Marinella Tudoran, managing director at Credit Suisse. We are delighted that you have joined us to honor accomplishments of women within the financial services sector. In the room, we have over 800 guests representing the largest banks, brokerage firms, private equity investment houses, investment banks, consulting and technology services, asset managers, and rating agencies. This is a true financial services community event taking place in the financial capital of the world, New York. I would say this is the Oscar event for the women in financial industry. For those of you attending your first Women Bond Club event, welcome. We would like to provide some context about our organization. For over 95 years, the Women's Bond Club has been focused on advancing women in finance, united by a powerful vision to advance women's leadership, grow talent and intellectual capital, and return value to our firms, communities, and the next generation of women. One of the hallmarks of the work we do is centered on returning back to our community through our college scholarship program. Since inception in 2000, we have awarded 84 scholarships totaling over $1.4 million, and in June this year, we will award 8 additional scholarships. To date, we have successfully placed 48 scholarship winners in 91 internships and 22 full-time jobs. This is a strong testament to the Women's Bond Club mission and to all of you, our members and supporters, for helping us to achieve the mission. Another cornerstone program, returning to future generations and advancing women in leadership, is our Rising Star program. Since its inception in 2003, the Women's Bond Club Rising Star program has supported over 450 women from across our corporate member firms. These women have benefited from industry-leading executive coaching, and as a result, over time, they have risen to leadership and board positions. We could not be more proud of our Rising Star program, of what this program has accomplished over the years, and the future looks bright when the time comes for these future leaders to contribute back to their firms and the financial services industry.
So today, the Women's Bond Club is over 900 members strong. Our corporate memberships represent 41 firms across all sectors of the financial services industry. This year, 2 new firms joined the WBC, and we're delighted to have them here with us tonight, BlackRock and RBS NatWest. So welcome. The net proceeds from tonight, our annual fundraiser, will support the WBC's philanthropic activities. In addition to the scholarship program, we provide grants, expertise, and volunteers to other nonprofit organizations and with aligned missions such as the Grace Institute, iMentor, and Bottomless Closet. This evening is also about thanking you and recognizing our leaders and learning from our successes. It's also about looking at the road ahead of us. Women continue to rise in the financial sector, but there's still hurdles to overcome. As you enjoy this evening's celebration, I'd like to ask each of you to reflect on this thought. You represent the largest banks, asset managers, multinational corporations, consulting firms, foundations, and now nonprofits. Your desire to support women, diversity, and advancement has brought you here today. You each have the opportunity to champion change. We encourage you to ask yourselves two questions. One, what can you personally do within your own organization to be a sponsor or a mentor to a woman who has potential to achieve more if she had your support and guidance? And what can you do to change the norms, influences, policies, or remove barriers to enable women at large in your organization? We can collectively change the professional lives of hundreds of women, and more importantly, make a real difference in the professional advancement across the sector. This evening is an opportunity to share, listen, learn, and take action. It's an opportunity for all of us to make an impact. Before we get started with this evening's events, Marinelle and I would like to extend our appreciation to our host, Broadridge Financial Solutions. Our WBC Merit Award Board co-chairs for this wonderful dinner, Frida Lewis and Augusta Sanfilippo. Of course, the WBC Board, Perina Bendanza, our Executive Director, Jennifer Bracco, our Membership Coordinator, and all the volunteers who've worked tirelessly to make this event a huge success, and of course to all of you for your support. Now it's with great pleasure that I introduce our colleague and fellow WBC board member, Frida Lewis, Merit Award Dinner Co-Chair, who will introduce our keynote speaker for tonight, Richard Daly, President and CEO of Broadridge Financial Solutions. Enjoy MAD.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Women's Bond Club Merit Award Dinner Co-Chair, Frida Lewis.
Good evening. I'm Frida Lewis, Managing Director and Chief Commercial Diversity Officer at Broadridge. I also have the privilege of sitting on the board of the Women's Bond Club and co-chairing this wonderful event. However, the real honor for me this evening is introducing our keynote, Rich Daly, the CEO and President of Broadridge. You see, I've known Rich for 30 years, and it seems like yesterday that I was sitting across the table from him, client versus vendor, and it was his qualities and nature and respect that won me over. Broadridge is celebrating its 10th anniversary, and it was Rich Daly was instrumental in the spin-off from ADP. At the time, Rich was the president of ATP Brokerage Services, and he had a different vision, and that vision is what we call Broadridge today. The unique qualities that I saw and his ability to relate to all individuals and make them feel comfortable is what I've seen over and over again with both our clients and our associates. Rich also was in the forefront at Broadridge, ensuring we had a Women's Forum. He is the sponsor of our Women's Leadership Forum, and he has a strong commitment to the Women's Bond Club that is evident here by sponsoring the event tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an individual that actually walks the talk. Please join me in welcoming Rich Daly.
Well, Frida, thank you. Fortunately, Frida's younger than me, so someday maybe she'll write an obituary or something like that to help me out. I don't think anybody's going to be able to top that. Well, good evening and welcome, everyone. What a great night, what an incredible venue, and what a great celebration. One thing as I look around this room, I'm thinking to myself, thank goodness my wife and daughters did not discover this room before their weddings. That would have cost a few bucks. Well, first of all, let's congratulate all of the rising stars, truly the next generation of leaders. And get ready to applaud again for our award winners, Suni Harford and Ruth Degolia. You know, this is truly a privilege for me and for Broadridge to be the sponsor of this evening's celebration. This is an industry that needs to get it, and the Women's Bond Club truly helps us understand that we need to get it. I'm truly very proud to be here tonight and grateful to the Women's Bond Club for this privilege. What we're really here to talk about is leadership. The Women's Bond Club makes us aware of the right thing to do. I'm going to hear tonight and share with you my own experiences of not only is it the right thing to do, but it's the smart thing to do. And let me give you some background on that. So for the last 25 years, I've led organizations with a clear view that the philosophy of the service profit chain is the right way to lead a business successfully and morally. Let me give you a quick view of the service profit chain. It says that if you want to have growing revenues and growing profits, you need to consistently exceed customer expectations. So far, you're not going to find anyone to disagree. If you find a business leader who disagrees, somebody dig up Joe McCarthy, we found another communist, all right? So that's not the issue. But where the rubber meets the road is where, in order to have those growing revenues and profits and exceed customer expectations, you need to have the highest engaged, highest quality workforce possible. Emphasis on high engagement. It doesn't matter whether you use Forbes data, Time Magazine data. An actively engaged associate is 57% more productive than an average associate. Okay, so forget the Johnny Paychecks who are the disengaged associates. I'm talking average to highly engaged, 57% productivity. Who wouldn't kill for 57% productivity? Now let's bring us to where we are here tonight. How difficult would it be for anyone to be highly engaged if there is an environment that doesn't include them, that they're not treated equally, okay, or that diversity and their diversity and differences aren't welcomed? It's simply bad business. For 25 years, I've stood in front of associates in my various responsibilities and talked about a zero-tolerance policy for any forms of inappropriate behavior, whether it be lack of accepting diversity, harassment, discrimination, or any of the, I'll call it the cancers that can kill any organization. I've had to take out people who did stupid things, including direct reports who made 7 figures. It's good business. We're talking about here doing something that's good for your business, not just something that, quote, might be politically correct, all right? It is, but the message to leaders has to be, you're mismanaging your responsibilities if you don't get this. Let me share how costly it can be. In 1993, I had one of the most difficult years of my career. The proxy business was doing very well, growing very quickly. Corporate governance was just really coming into vogue. And late one evening in proxy season, then my CIO and partner came to me and said, we have a major problem. When your CIO says that, that's never going to be good news. It turned out that a good percentage of the votes went into the computer and never came out. Somewhere out there's computer heaven. Now, I tell people all the time, to error is human, but to really foul things up beyond recognition requires big computers. This is where we were. By midnight, we sized the problem. The next morning, we self-reported to the SEC, to the NYSE, and any other alphabet organization we could think of. By the next morning, the Council of Institutional Investors was highly quoted in C1 of the Wall Street Journal, questioning my IQ, and I believe they thought I had something to do with the Lindbergh kidnapping as well. So we knew we had a pretty narrow window to get it right. We created a 180-page action plan. And now we're going to be presenting to the SEC and the Council of Institutional Investors. And we worked 60 days straight, day and night, and we were ready. The presentation, the binders, every seat perfect, name tags, and in they came. And we had in there CalPERS, CalSTRS, City of New York, State of Connecticut Pension Fund, and the assistant treasurer from the state of Connecticut said, Mr. Daly, could I ask you a question? I said, I'd love to hear your question. Does your organization hire anyone other than white males? Nowhere in my presentation did I have that answer. I didn't have a placard, a chart, or anything that could address that. But think about that in every business sense. And the problem that businesses have is people aren't normally that candid. But you can lose business by not matching the world and industries we're serving. Financial services is a global industry. Global. We need to match the markets we serve. And I'm thinking to myself at that moment, I grew up in Cambria Heights, Queens, just outside of JFK. And I'm thinking, I'm way too street smart to get mugged like this at that moment. My wife was CFO of a public company at that point in time. We raised our 2 children, both daughters, to believe they could be anything they wanted to be and don't let anyone tell them that they couldn't for any reason. And here I am with no biases, all right, in a position where I appeared that I was not an inclusive individual. So it's not only that we need to do more, the message going forward clearly needs to be, we must do more. At Broadridge, my diversity journey really began that moment. And we've made lots of accomplishments, we need to make more. We track the stats on diversity and inclusion and report them every quarter to the board of directors of Broadridge. We set a goal every year, and part of my compensation is tied to achieving that goal. We hold all leaders accountable on every hire and on every promotion. Why wasn't there a diverse candidate who could do this job? We track pay equality. As Frida mentioned, she came to me with the Women's Leadership Forum concept for Broadridge. We now have 600 of our female leaders in the forum across the globe at a dozen plus locations. I'm proud to be the executive sponsor. Through our Broadridge Foundation, we identified helping children as our reason for the foundation. We have 2 primary charities we support. One is the stock market game. I'm a trustee or a director on the SIPMA Foundation, where young boys and girls, equally learn financial literacy about our industry and understand the benefits of our industry in real simulations supported by Broadridge technology, on top of which we support 10 inner-city schools to participate in this activity as well. In India, we founded the Broadridge School for Girls. Over the last 9 years, we've taken 2,100 girls out of work camps. We've mainstreamed them into the education process. 1,400 of them are graduated, and 65 are in college right now. Thank you. The look in the eyes of these girls is just remarkable. I was at the school when a girl who had just come in, and this, by the way, is not Slumdog Millionaire. These girls generally have both parents. Their parents were part of an arranged marriage and were raised in a work camp, and it just seemed natural for their children to follow that same pattern. So it's breaking the pattern. And this girl had arrived there yesterday. She was 5 or 6. She had the hands of a construction worker. She picked cotton for 18 hours a day, and she had her first possession in her hand that she couldn't stop looking at and smiling at, a number 2 pencil. So more needs to be done globally, not just in our industry. But the real message here is, as we go forward, we need to be realistic about what we're doing. Actually, Alicia from Fidelity is sitting at my table. And in one of the Women Leadership Forums, we were talking about there are real differences in the way men and women generally approach getting a job. So we now have a rule which says the best person for the job is not necessarily the person who most aggressively seeks the job. And that's something that companies need to recognize as well, that if you're going to be successful in doing this, you have to have a commitment to diversity, track the stats, and then find the capable people to put in the chair. And let's get back to where I started at the beginning. For any business leader, if you don't do that, it's going to cost you on your bottom line. All right? Beyond, it's the right thing to do. So, again, I want to thank the Women's Bond Club for this true privilege to be here tonight. We all need to do more. We all need to be better at this. And the message we should be leaving and passing to every C-suite, and is if we do that, we're all going to be more successful. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Women's Bond Club Merit Award Dinner Co-Chair, Augusta Sanfilippo.
Good evening, everybody. So I get to announce the first Oscar for the evening. The Isabelle Benham Award is named after one of the Women Bond Club's founders and is given to the woman who demonstrates and sustained contribution to the advancement of women. The award also includes $25,000, which is given to the charity of the choice of the recipient, which is donated by the Women's Bond Club. Isabelle Benham was an amazing, extraordinary woman. She was a pioneer in the early 1930s, and she advanced as an expert in the railroad analytics over at Wall Street, within Wall Street, and she was the first woman to serve on a Wall Street bond house. Tonight we are here to present in her honor to yet another extraordinary woman, Ruth Degolia. Founded in 2004, Ruth Degolia has led Mercado Global's growth from a small nonprofit working with 12 artisans and Guatemalan highlands to its recognition as a pioneer in ethical fashion and social enterprise. Having touched the lives of over 450 women in 40 cooperatives, impacting over 2,700 dependents, Mercado Global has connected Guatemalan artisans to over 300 international retailers and vendors, including Anthropologie, Everything But Water, Garnet Hill, Goop, J. Crew. Ruth was named among the world's best emerging social entrepreneurs by the Echoing Green Foundation back in 2004, and she was also selected as the 15 people who will most make America great by Newsweek back in 2006. Ruth has also spoken at the Clinton Global Initiative, the Global Summit for Women, PIMCO, and the United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ruth to the stage.
Thank you. I am greatly honored to be recognized by this community of women leaders and to be in the company of the powerful trailblazers and female leaders who have received this honor before me. Thank you so much. It is especially meaningful to me to receive this award at a time when there is such tremendous need and potential for progress in this field. Women's rights and economic inclusion are currently at risk both in the US and abroad and in a way not seen in many years. But at the same time, women are stepping up more to flex their muscles and recognize the power that we have to help each other and to drive positive social change. It means so much to me to be honored by this group of women leaders in the financial services industry because I believe that you are uniquely positioned to be leaders in this movement to empower women in our country and across the world in the coming years. I'd like to begin by sharing my story about how I came to work with Mercado Global. I first traveled to Guatemala when I was an undergraduate at Yale. While there, I underwent a transformation. I came from a family of union activists and thought of myself as an activist. I thought that all business was bad. Thought you guys might appreciate that. But while I was in Guatemala, I met some truly inspirational women. These were women who never had the chance to go to school. If their fathers could afford to send any of their children to school, they sent their sons. And these women and their children were starving. In fact, in Guatemala, 2 out of 3 indigenous children go to bed hungry every single night. 2 out of 3. But these women were fighters. They were fighting for their families, and they were some of the best weavers in the world. All they needed was access to a market. And that's where Mercado Global started. Mercado Global is about the idea that indigenous women who historically have been seen as victims can be some of the best rural entrepreneurs in the world. And I think that when our partner artisans are exporting to some of the top retailers in the world, to Anthropologie, to Nordstrom, and as of this month to Target, and using their income to send their daughters to school themselves, that we're helping make this vision a reality. Thank you. Thank you. But Mercado Global is also about something bigger than that. We're about the idea that when women help other women, when we recognize that what unites us is bigger than what divides us, that we have unlimited potential. When I first went to Guatemala and met these amazing women, the struggle they faced was so incredibly personal to me. That could have been me, or my sister, or my mother, that could have been born into society where little girls did not have the right to go to school. And I ask you to think about something. Guatemala is closer to New York than LA is to New York. These are our neighbors. How is this happening? So to me, Mercado Global is about the opportunity that we have as women to lead and actively build the society that we want to live in. Women make 80% of household purchasing decisions in the US. 80%. If we all actively voted with our dollars for businesses and products that empower women, we would be living in a very different world. Thank you. And we're seeing firsthand that women are waking up to this power. Mercado Global's sales are up 70% over last year, and major retailers are approaching us to source product because their customers are demanding products that empower women, where they feel connected to the maker and to the impact of their purchases. But this movement goes beyond conscious consumerism. It's also about building up women leaders in finance, in politics, and at home. It's about waking women up to their potential for financial empowerment. In Guatemala, every day we see how everything changes when a woman artisan has access to her own income for the first time. When she has savings and can invest in assets and has her own safety net. It's the difference between having to stay in an abusive relationship and having options. It's the difference between having economic opportunity and being able to having no economic opportunity, and being able to buy your own sewing machine so that you can increase your daily earnings. It's the difference between your children going to bed hungry at night and them having enough to eat. Each of you is uniquely positioned to be ambassadors and leaders in this movement. I am in awe of all that the Women's Bond Club is doing to promote women's financial empowerment and to build up women leaders. I encourage each of you to consider what else you could be doing. Join a board. Find out how your company could leverage what they're doing every day to have an impact through their supply chain, their employee engagement program, their marketing budgets. Mentor an up-and-coming women leader, because this movement is just beginning and there's a huge need for change. Thank you to all of you for this tremendous honor. And thank you especially to each of you for all that you do every day to help empower other women. You're truly having an impact. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Women's Bond Club Co-President Marinella Todoran.
Hello again. I'm here to present the second Oscar of the evening. I'm thrilled to be introducing our 2017 Women's Bond Club Merit Award winner, Suni Harford. The Women's Bond Club's highest honor, the Merit Award, is given to a woman in the financial service community who is widely recognized for her contribution in the industry. She has distinguished herself by breaking through the glass ceiling and providing leadership within her organization and in her community. Suni Harford is a managing director and Citigroup's regional head of markets for North America. In this capacity, Suni oversees the North American sales, trading, and origination businesses of Citi's securities and banking franchise. Suni is also a member of Citi's Pension Plan Investment Committee and the director of the board of Citibank Canada. From 2010 to 2015, Suni was the co-head of Citigroup Global Women's Initiative, Citi Women. Prior to her current role, Suni held a variety of senior positions from 1995 to 2004 at Citi and Solomon Brothers, including the global head of fixed income research and the co-head of fixed income capital markets originations, where she led an advisory team focused on financial institutions. Suni is a very active member and leader in the financial services sector. She serves on the board of directors of the Securities Industry and Financial Markets Association, as well as the board of directors of the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation. Suni also serves on several other non-profit boards and has been named one of American Banker's top 25 women in finance. She graduated from the Armour Stock School of Business at Dartmouth College and received her Bachelor of Science degree from Denison University, where she majored in physics and math. Suni often appears on CNBC, providing her views on the capital markets. As you could see, Suni has an impressive professional curriculum. What about the real life? In real life, she's a confident woman who embodies an energetic and outspoken personality. She understands the power of diversity in the business context and values different perspectives that people could bring to the table. Her leadership style is one that weaves together different personalities and brings out the best in people. We are very proud to honor her tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Suni Harford.
Thanks very much, Marinello. Thank you very much, Rich and Broadridge, for hosting tonight's event, to our event co-chairs, Frida and Augusta, and thank you to the entire Women's Bond Club for this award. Congratulations to all of our rising stars, and a special thank you to all of my colleagues at Citi, who through over 25 years, 25 years of support and camaraderie have created the opportunity for me to be here tonight. I'm truly humbled and honored to be standing in front of you all. We're here tonight to celebrate and further the mission of the Women's Bond Club, to lead, learn, and return in our work so that women across our industry and our communities can reach their full potential. When I say that I'm humbled to be here, I truly mean it. That's an ambitious mission. And I cannot help but wonder as I stand here before you tonight whether I am up to the cause. To lead. I have tried to be a leader, but what is leadership today? There's so many working definitions. A lot of people suggest it's synonymous with management, but I've known too many people without the title who led, so I know that's not true. Alternately, I've known plenty of managers who are not leaders. Another definition that I like is a leader comes to the forefront in a case of crisis and is able to think and act in creative ways in difficult situations. Have women in financial services been in crisis? Got to tell you, I don't think so. Look at all of the talent in the room tonight, and I think we've done pretty well. Yeah. But surely, we have needed to be creative over the years in order to effect change. I remember when women were expected to wear what were, for all intents and purposes, men's suits. Except, of course, we weren't allowed to wear pants. Is it leadership to be among the first to wear pants on a trading floor? I remember trying to hide my first pregnancy so it wouldn't have a negative impact on my compensation, as if the 20 pounds I gained in the first trimester weren't a leading indicator. Is it leadership to be openly pregnant? I remember being the first woman on the floor to return to work after 2 children, let alone 3, and the broad expectation that I would not stay for long. Is it leadership truly to have stuck it out for 30 years? If so, then it's been relatively easy to lead. And I say relatively easy because if you're a working woman, then you know that such leadership comes with its challenges. I have messed up, and as a result, my children have missed more dress-down days and birthday parties than I care to count. I remember that there were my husband's business functions, kids' doctor's appointments, and school plays that mom just didn't get to. Surely I am the working mother that the other school moms refer to when they complain about the mom who never RSVPs on time, never volunteers for the book fair, and shows up with store-bought cupcakes to the bake sale. You guys are great. As an aside, and for the record, you can teach algebraic equations to a 13-year-old over the phone, and it's actually better because you can't see her roll her eyes at you when you say something obvious. I also remember when a close friend noted that she had to leave her career and stay home because she loved her kids. And I remember my first boss and mentor who assured me that I needn't worry about being a working mother, because when I had kids, I'd surely stay home and do the right thing. So maybe not so easy to lead. Definitely worth it. To learn. Seems simple enough and one of the most difficult things to do. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but every spare second I have today to educate myself is spent in compliance training. Truly, yeah. To learn. This one I know I've accomplished because I'm still learning every single day, learning about markets and surprise elections and nuclear missile tests, economics and technology, and well, you guys get the idea because you do it too. Even learning about the generation gap with the group now commonly referred to as the millennials. I was asked on behalf of the City Foundation to introduce Gloria Steinem, Mary Robinson, the President of Ireland, and Lakshmi Puri, the UN Undersecretary for Gender Equality, for a panel discussion around gender inequality. I was very excited about the prospect of meeting these phenomenal women and was bragging about it at home when my 16-year-old daughter looked at me and said, "Who's Gloria Steinem?" True. You'll be happy to note that in the end, the entire Hewitt School for Girls was in attendance at that conference, and I promise you they learned exactly who Gloria Steinem is. But you have to make time to learn. You have to want to learn, and you have to have a teacher. The programs and events sponsored by the Women's Bond Club have more than met their goal of providing intellectually stimulating forums for discussion that allow us to learn from each other. We all know something that could help someone else here improve the quality of the work they do and/or the life they live. To return, this one is harder. I fear that I am left desperately wanting on this one, because do we ever return enough? Can we ever pay forward enough to compensate for the opportunities that we've been given? For those of us that have moved up, have we remembered to send the elevator back down to the folks on the ground floor? Through your support here tonight, I suggest that you have all done something tangible in that return column, and I thank you all for that. To lead, to learn, to return. Yes, that's an ambitious mission, but we should all be ambitious around such an effort, and goals should be aspirational. How else will we continue to move forward? Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Women's Bond Club Community Outreach Co-Chairs Alexandra Palladino and Donna Wilson.
Good evening. I'm Alex Palladino from Thomson Reuters, and I'm proud to serve as Secretary of the Board of Directors of the Women's Bond Club and co-chair of Community Outreach, along with my fellow board member, Donna Wilson from Invesco. So you've heard a lot this evening about the theme of women giving back to women and women helping women. So the Community Outreach Committee carries out that mission to women in New York City through our charitable giving, as well as our scholarship, mentoring, and jobs programs. So with support from all of you here tonight, we've given $300,000 in grants to organizations within New York City that help disadvantaged women. We currently offer both financial support as well as volunteering opportunities for our members with amazing organizations that you heard about earlier, such as iMentor, Bottomless Closet, and Grace Institute. For our scholarship program, thanks to your help, we've awarded 84 scholarships over the last 18 years, totaling over $1.4 million. Our scholars are high-potential, socioeconomically disadvantaged young women who desire careers in financial services. We've sourced those scholars from over 60 New York City high schools. We hope you'll join us for a scholarship awards ceremony on May 31st at Thomson Reuters. Donna?
Our mentorship program pairs our scholars with volunteers from our member firms to serve as mentors throughout their college years. Providing mentorship, guidance, training creates a direct pipeline that adds young women into financial services. Our jobs program works to place our scholars in internships and full-time positions with our member firms. To date, we have successfully placed our scholars in 91 internships and 22 full-time jobs. Please. A number of firms have partnered with us to secure these positions. Special thanks to BlackRock, Thomson Reuters, Invesco, Deloitte, Accenture, PIMCO, Morgan Stanley, PwC, IBM, Prudential, and Broadridge, amongst others. We still have several scholars in need of summer internships, so we need your help. Please speak to your Women's Bond Club contact if your firm is able to hire one of our scholars this summer. Thank you in advance for your help.
So this evening, we're thrilled to introduce you to a special guest, Brenda Kaye. Brenda is one of our past scholarship winners who's benefited from our mentoring and our jobs programs, and now has a full-time role at Broadridge. We're very proud of Brenda. She wants to speak to you tonight about the impact that the WBC has had on her life and her professional career. Over to you, Brenda.
Thank you, Donna and Alex. Good evening. I would like to thank the Women's Bond Club for allowing me to share my story. A story known to many first-generation students and perhaps unknown to many of you. I like to think that my life, up until now, has been a reflection of what happens when other people are willing to help. Starting with my parents, whom so selflessly left everything behind in one of the most remote villages in South America, so my siblings and I could have the opportunity to dream. They found a home in the South Bronx, where I was born and raised. The economic challenges were big, but the social challenges were even bigger. I attended high school in Harlem, where I was introduced to a teacher who believed in my academic ability and nominated me for the Women's Bond Club Scholarship during my senior year. This was my chance to attend college without the financial burden, one that my parents wouldn't have been able to carry. Last year, as I walked through that graduation stage and I looked into my parents' eyes, I knew this wouldn't have been possible without an organization very dear to my heart, the Women's Bond Club. The Women's Bond Club not only supported me financially, but it also provided mentors, created bridges, and formed friendships. Most importantly, it helped me, a young woman from the South Bronx, who lived in a one-bedroom apartment with her family of 5, stand in front of you today. I cannot begin to name the many women, some of whom are here tonight, who helped me along the way. They were eager to edit my resume, participate in my senior thesis research, and even drive 100 miles to attend my graduation. They helped me land internships at WBC corporate member firms such as Thomson Reuters and NASDAQ. And in doing so, inevitably weaved my path to joining Broadridge as a full-time associate this past summer. I stand before you representing all the scholars, past and present, and on behalf of all of them, I thank you for believing in our potential. We wouldn't have gone this far without you. We are honored to have been guided by an incredible group of women, and we are truly privileged to call this organization our family. Thank you, and thank you to Broadridge for hosting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Women's Bond Club Corporate Outreach Co-Chairs Suzanne O'Connell and Deirdre O'Connor.
Good evening, everyone. It's my great honor to present the best Oscar of the evening, in my opinion. I was a Rising Star recipient in 2015, actually 2005. I'm so proud to say, which inspired me to join the board, many years later. And I'm absolutely thrilled to be on the stage tonight with our future leaders. Absolutely thrilled. So good for them. The Rising Star program is our cornerstone of the Women's Bond Club, and it very much is in line with our mantra, lead, learn, and return, which is what we're all doing here tonight. The accomplished and distinguished women are about to embark on a very exciting year-long journey. They receive an annual membership to the Women's Bond Club, And they also receive 6 months of exclusive training with a very reputable trainer on Wall Street, which we would all die to be part of. And these ladies are going to be part of this 6-month program. And we basically recognize their achievement and their potential as emerging leaders. These ladies are the future from our perspective. Finally, being highly potential women, this group will create a cohort. So they're going to be connected right across Wall Street with their peers. And because we now do an ambassador program, for the next many, many years, we're going to keep these girls together and make sure that they've got support right throughout their career, which we're hoping and we expect that they're going to go on to absolutely great things. And we are all here tonight to support that. We'd like to thank each and every single corporate firm that makes this possible for these ladies. They've clearly distinguished themselves within their organizations, and we're absolutely thrilled to be part of celebrating their accomplishments within their organizations, and I'm very excited about what they're going to go on to become. I'm delighted to be joined with Suzanne O'Connell, the Women's Bond Club President, and we're going to announce this year's Rising Stars. Woo!
All right, great. So let's get started. Nicole Solove from Accenture. Melissa Delia, AXA US. Angela Martin, AXA US. Darna Mehta, Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Aaron Disler, Wealth Management. Malin Palmquist, Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Kelly Banya, BMO Capital Markets. BMO. Lindsay Boffman, Barclays. Caitlin Gilbert, BlackRock. Lauren Agerstand, Bloomberg. Anne-Marie Casano Ranieri, Bank of New York Mellon. Adrian Perry, Broadridge Financial Solutions. Nico Kamilovic, Capital One. Kat Desai, CIT. Allison Morrow, Citi. Shable Long, Citi. Bridget O'Connor, Citi. Julie Kwan, CLS Bank International. Lisa Christofek, Cognizant Technology Solutions. Becky Kariuki, Credit Suisse. Mary Ababsi, Deloitte Advisory. Andrea Haskell, Deloitte Consulting. Anna Gondel, EY. Cynthia Pozo Garcia, EY. Christina Poon, Capco. And Taryn Denolf, FIS Global. Deirdre, you start right
Thank
here.
you. Katrina McGee, Gartland and Molina Group. Sharon Fortune Bowden, IBM. Amy Patel, ICAP. Catherine Isbell, Invesco. Valerie Kopecki, JP Morgan. Hang on, there's 4 JP Morgan. Hold on a second. Elaine Kim, JP Morgan. Janiyah Mullins, JP Morgan Chase, sorry. And finally, Terry Ann Burrell, JP Morgan Chase. Angelique Ahmed, KPMG. Jessica Ding, MetLife Investments. Aileen Devitt Gregor, Moody's. Alison Siegel, Morgan Stanley. Catherine Chang, Morgan Stanley. Vanessa Meesix, NASDAQ. Claire Steinglass, Nomura. Alex Petrone, PIMCO. And another one for PIMCO, Kate Margraf, sorry. Amanda Gruskis, PwC. Valentina Bonassi, Promontory Financial and IBM Company. Daniel Navarro, PGIM. Katie Toya, S&P Global Markets Intelligence. Yasmin Ramina, SocGen. Caroline McLean, S&P Global Ratings. Ann Hamilton, Thomson Reuters. And last, by no means least, Lauren Anderson, Wells Fargo. Yay! Congratulations to these amazing women. Well done.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Women's Bond Club Merit Award Dinner co-chairs Frida Lewis and Augusta Sanfilippo.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now looking at our future. And from my vantage point, it certainly looks bright. Congratulations again to Suni and Ruth, our Merit Award winner and Isabelle Benham Award winner. And once again, I am truly proud to thank Broadridge for sponsoring this evening. And I also would like to thank Credit Suisse for extending their museum privileges to allow us to have this wonderful venue.
A special thank you to the entire planning team from Sequence Events who made sure that every detail was attended to. Also, this event would not be possible without the assistance of Perrin Abadanza, who's the WBC Executive Director, and Jennifer Bracco, WBC Coordinator, and of course, the tireless efforts of all the many volunteers. Thank you very much. All their names are in the brochure. Thank you again for coming to this wonderful event, and we hope to see you all next year. Good night and safe travels.